Hi guys, welcome to Mission DIY. Today I'm going to show you how I built this total custom vanity mirror cabinet on a budget.
And I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. So let's get started.
Here is our ensuite master bathroom, and we redid it about 7 or 8 years ago. And we had left this old style medicine cabinet in here, and it's been fine, but it's just kind of gross inside. We did repaint it when we redid the bathroom, but it's just annoying that these tracks are just really gross and you can't really clean them that well. It's also kind of annoying that you can't really access the side of the medicine cabinet really well. These doors don't really open and glide very easily, and we tend to just leave them like this all the time, so it's kind of ugly. What I really want to do is put in a cabinet with swing out doors.
The first thing I did was start clearing everything out. If you're interested in seeing what this bathroom used to look like, check out the link in the description below.
It's kind of gross in there. Like, especially this side. It's like Russ grabs stuff like he's a bear. Rawr. I need my deodorant.
Then demo began. This is not really my favorite thing.
We do have a Sawzall, but everybody's sleeping while the kids are sleeping, so I've been trying to be really quiet. I don't really know how to get it out without making a lot of noise, so I found a few different quieter saws, and I'm going to try cutting it out.
A lot of this project actually did happen at night. That's usually when I get my best ideas though. I did have to keep things quiet so I didn't wake anyone up. So instead of power tools, I focused on using these hand saws.
I'm going to try to remove these metal pieces from the existing mirrors because I didn't want to spend $150 on new mirrors, which would have to be somewhat custom, so I'm going to try to reuse these. They look to be glued on. If you heat up the construction adhesive with a heat gun, then it should loosen. So I have a heat gun here, I have some pliers to grab it, I also have some gloves to try to grab it off. So I will see how that goes. This one already appears to be loose, so I'm going to try and get it off first without doing anything. Just like cardboard in there. Oh, nice! Look at that. Yeah, and this is probably going to clean up pretty good. There is a little bit of a scratch right here in the mirror part, but I think we can deal with that.
I finally removed the track pieces, but after all of that, I decided not to use these mirrors. I'll show you what I used instead in a little bit.
This is just a 2x4, so there's like 9 inches of space that goes all the way back there. And then this is just a 2x4, and this is a 2x6 piece, so it's a deeper wall because of the plumbing and everything that's in this wall. So I think I should just take that out, make the cabinet wider. Why not? More space. And then I will make like a little shelf here to put the cabinet in. That way you have clearance of the doors and the clearance for the faucet, the doors opening. And then I'll just drywall over this part. Or maybe do like a mosaic tile backsplash.
As I was brainstorming ideas on the fly and thinking through this build, Russ jumped in with a few suggestions. His main goal was to maximize the space as much as possible, since this bathroom doesn't have a lot of storage. After I removed the stud and took some measurements, I used SketchUp to explore a few layout options and finalize the cabinet design. When I measured the space for the cabinet, I made sure to leave at least 1/4 inch on all sides. That extra room gave me some flexibility during installation and space for shims to get everything level. I used a shelf pin jig to pre-drill all the holes for the shelves. One thing Russ and I both really wanted was the ability to customize our own sides of the cabinet and place the shelves exactly where we each wanted them. I love this Craig jig, and I've linked to it in the description box. It was time to clean up the drywall and test fit all of my pieces before assembling them together. I wanted to do something a little different and add mirrors to the inside of the cabinet. My thought that it would make the space feel brighter and make everything easier to see. Even though Russ can't really use it as a mirror to trim his mustache, I love how it turned out. It gives the inside of the cabinet a soft, slightly blurry mirror effect and reflects a surprising amount of light, which really brightens up this bathroom. You can find a link to this mirror sticker roll in the description. I cleaned up each piece of wood and cut the mirror slightly bigger than each piece and trimmed off the excess with a sharp blade. I kept the protective film on for as long as possible, and when assembling the cabinet, I peeled the protective film off just where the joints met up so I could easily peel the remaining off later. Once the mirror stickers were on, the shelf pin holes were covered, but you could still feel where they were underneath. Before committing, I wanted to test how the mirror would look once the holes were opened back up. I used the back side of one of the pieces to experiment. I drilled the holes first, applied the mirror sticker, and then tried drilling through the mirror. That didn't work well. It lifted and tore the mirror material. So instead, I tried carefully poking through the mirror with the sharp blade. That gave me a much cleaner result, and that's the method we ended up using when installing the shelves.
This one looks the best. And this one. These do not look good at all. They look much worse in person. There you can kind of see that they're raised really bad. But this one over here, right there, don't look as bad.
I assembled the cabinet with screws and made sure to use a countersink drill bit so the screws wouldn't stick out of the wood. I did this on the inside of the cabinet as well when securing it to the wall studs. As I examined the test fit, I decided to make a modification for the electrical outlet. Moving the outlet wasn't an option as the wire wasn't long enough and we didn't want to open up the wall. Instead, we decided to face the outlet inside the cabinet, which is perfect for charging Russ's beard trimmer. Because I never know when he's going to have his annual funny beard shave-off day. And honestly, next time I'd like a little warning. I used 1/4 inch MDF for the back of the cabinet and secured it with screws as well. I had to use 2 pieces of mirror paper with a seam down the middle. The seam was covered by the vertical piece inside the cabinet. I made sure to draw lines where the shelves were inside the cabinet, so I wouldn't make unnecessary holes in the back or misfire a screw, making an ugly hole in the back. Time to grab my muscle, also known as Russ, and bring the cabinet into the bathroom for installation. I was so excited to finally see this piece go in. Russ helped guide the electrical wires into the box. Next, it was time to make the doors. I used 3/4 inch plywood, and since I don't get to use the drill press very often, I took the opportunity to use it to bore the holes for the hidden hinges.
Okay, now this piece goes onto the cabinet. Some adjustments are needed here, and I don't know what happened, but I cut this too short. Hinges are on. These were not fun at all. That one is still being fixed. Drilled the holes slightly off over here, so I'm having to epoxy it.
Ugh, it was really frustrating realizing I'd made a few wrong cuts and drilled holes in the wrong spots. Sometimes projects take a turn, and at least for me, it can feel like everything starts going wrong at once. Whether it's mismeasuring and making the wrong cut, not being able to find a tool, like the jig for these hinges, which I probably hate the most, or even jabbing yourself with something sharp, it can feel overwhelming and make you want to throw in the towel. But in moments like this, I try to step back and focus on the wins, both small and big. One of those big wins was finding a mirror we already had. When we bought the house, there was a large mirror hanging on the bedroom door. We took it down to replace the door, leaned it behind the dresser, and completely forgot about it. Finding it again felt like a little gift and a reminder that God is watching over the details, even in the messy parts of a project, and also in life. It also reminds me that choosing gratitude, especially in frustrating moments, just makes everything feel lighter. So it was a total score on finding that mirror, because it meant that I could save some cash and still have perfect-sized mirrors to fit my doors. I used a glass cutter, which I've linked in the description, and then sanded the edges. With the glass cutter, you score and snap the mirror, so you're limited to straight cuts. You can see I had to include a few seams to work around the notched-out area for the faucet. But overall, it came out really well. I added the mirror sticker behind the seams and used mirror adhesive to secure the mirrors to the doors. While I was waiting for the adhesive to dry, I reused the outlet and wired it up in its new location inside the cabinet. I then shimmed and secured the cabinet in place, and I installed new trim to give it a built-in look. Small details like this really help the cabinet feel original to the space. Since the bathroom was already a mess, I decided it was the perfect time to refinish the vanity countertop too. In another video, I show the whole process. The good, the bad, and even the ugly. So you can see what worked, what didn't, and maybe pick up a few tips for your own countertops. Once everything was in place, I cleaned up, loaded everything back inside, and stepped back to see the difference. Let's take a look back at where we started. It probably wasn't the worst cabinet ever, but we lived with it long enough. It's a simple change, almost unnoticeable from the outside. But that's why they say you can't judge a book by its cover. As soon as you open the doors, you really see the difference. Projects like this can easily blow the budget. For example, Russ had a connection who made the glass shelves for free. This was amazing considering I had quotes for about $70 per shelf. And reusing the old mirror on the doors was a huge bonus. Free stuff is always a win when you're working on a budget project. If you enjoyed this project, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I share real DIY projects with tips and lessons learned. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.